I'm taking the train into London, then taking the tube to Liverpool Street for a walk around London's East End. Liverpool Street mainline station is the gateway to the East End of London. The station was opened in 1874 and suffered damage in both world wars, and played a major role as the terminus for thousands of Jewish children fleeing from war-torn Europe. Those children, known as the Kindertransport, are commemorated with this statue at the front concourse of the station. On Liverpool Street is a plaque marking the site of the former Bethlehem Hospital, or Bedlam as it was better known. Turning off to the right of Liverpool Street is Middlesex Street. The street used to be called Petticoat Lane. Now, Victorian sensibilities couldn't cope with a word meaning undergarments prominent on one of their street signs, so it was changed. There are a number of interesting street names around here. Pots and pans were sold in this street. Now, it's said that Artillery Passage was used as one of the settings for Diagon Alley in the Harry Potter films, and you'll understand why when you get down here. I was looking for the wand shop. The Sandy Rose Synagogue, one of the oldest synagogues in the city, originally constructed as a church for Huguenot settlers from France, it's just one of many examples of how the times of the East End changed and evolved. At the end of Artillery Alley is one of the oldest surviving shop fronts in London, at 56 to 58 Artillery Lane. Dating from 1756, this is a building that takes us right back to the days of the Huguenot silk weavers. Spitalfields Market is one of the best and oldest markets in London, having initially been granted its charter by Charles II in 1682. The name Spitalfields is so called primarily because the area was once indeed fields, but also because it also played home to a priory and a hospital called St Mary Spital. Hence, the area was called Spitalfields. In the distance is Christ Church, Spitalfields. It's a Grade 1 listed building, work on which began in 1714 and was one of many built to support London's growing population. To the left of the church is the 10 Bells. Now, for people interested in the macabre history of Jack the Ripper, strongly linked to the area, this pub is a key backdrop to the story. Two of the murder victims would have known and visited this pub, with Anne Chapman possibly having spent some time drinking there just before she was murdered, and Mary Jane Kelly having used the pavement outside the pub in order to ply her trade as a prostitute. Fournier Street betrays its roots as one of the streets founded by the Huguenot settlers in the East End. The Huguenots were French Protestants fleeing from religious persecution in their own country and settling in the East End. The houses that were built date back from 1720, and the streets to this area have a really unique feel. At the end of Fournier Street is a mosque, a unique place of worship, given the fact that it started out life as a Huguenot Protestant church, became a Methodist chapel, then turned into a synagogue, until finally becoming a mosque in the 1970s. This is Brick Lane. This area can be clearly identified with the most recent wave of immigration, Bangladeshis from the northeast of Bangladesh. Turning off Brick Lane into Princelet Street, one of the buildings is left in a permanently disabled state, as it's often used by TV crews as an atmospheric backdrop. Hanbury Street is known for its street art. Back on Brick Lane now, which took its name from the clay pits just north of Bethnal Green Road, from where a brick manufacturing business began to develop. The lane would have transported the bricks back to London. Towards the end of Brick Lane, a further remnant of the Jewish presence in the area can be seen in the form of bagel bakeries. The first wave of real Jewish immigration in the area started in 1656, when Oliver Cromwell allowed Jews to settle, having previously been expelled from the country by Edward I in 1290. And now I'm back at Liverpool Street. Hope you enjoyed the walk. Let me know what you think of the video.